last time on Kakumei, the battle against Amaron was finally decided. Vegeta, though losing many of his Saiyan brothers, was able to overcome and defeat the interim god of destruction. However, instead of finishing him off for good, Vegeta sent the defeated deity off with a message for all of those who want to trifle with the rest of the multiverse. Whether it's today or tomorrow, we're ready and waiting for you. So not only does Amaron still live, but it appears the spell the Grand Priest cast to keep their aggressors at bay is beginning to wear off. 1.5 years have passed since the announcement from the Grand Priest, and 1 year since the assault of Amaron on planet Sadala. The training continues, and our heroes, in theory, have no more than 6 months before the beginning of the multiversal war. At the palace of the Grand Priest, even after all the time that's passed, it still looks like the Father of Angels has seen better days. A childish voice queries, "Shall we go?" as they appear to reach their hand in some kind of mystical spear. Inside, a little Zeno amidst the cosmos. Another equally childish timbre responds, "Oh yes, let's go!" Causing a huge gust of wind to rumble the palace with the power of a tornado. The hand places the Zeno figurine on a replica of the Grand Priest Palace. Causing the Zenos themselves to appear before said angel. The god of all happily greets him. "Hi Grand Priest, how are you doing?" The other beckoning if he'd like to play, hoping everything's fine. Although it's well known these two are the representation of naivety and innocence, they don't even seem to notice the injured state the GP's in. Without skipping a beat, he too puts aside his battle-worn condition. "Hello to you. What do you want to play?" Causing the duo to joyfully cheer for him to get up. Stand up and they'll find something fun to do. Though unable to speak without stuttering, that's a request that's far easier said than done. He nonetheless tries to comply without objection. Speaking amongst each other, one of them has a better idea. How about they organize another tournament of power? The other getting just as excited about such a prospect. Prodding the priest. "Hey, what do you say, Grand Priest? Let's do it! Come on, let's do it!" When a thought occurs, where's Goku? He promised to come see the two of them. Though they quickly brush this off because they'll be seeing him at this new tournament anyway. For the first time, the priest actually seems to grow a bit angry. "Shouldn't we let them take a break after the first tournament? If we let them drag out the time to recover, the show will be even more. But the pace of his speech not to their liking. They interrupt that he's taking too long and it's making him bored, urging him to speak faster. Actually, don't speak faster. Don't speak at all. He should just get up and come play now. So at last he reveals he can. Of course, the duo interpret this as he doesn't want to play, which isn't very fun. Still doing his best to maintain his duty, he questions if they can play without him getting up. Causing the childlike deities to grow serious. "We're not going to play while sitting down." The other offering they'll each give him a hand up. And the other echoing this. They insist it's always easier when people help each other. When one of the guards speaks out of turn to apologize for not informing him of their arrival before But before he can even finish his statement, Zeno shreds him from existence. Possibly given the sudden change in the situation, the Grand Priest wants to explain everything he can to him. Though they really aren't interested. He has thus far preferred to manage like a grown-up, so he can see it through to the end. He tries to interject that it's not that. when they spitefully remove one of his arms as punishment. This mindless violence must be the reason all the gods of destruction fear Zeno so much. Not only knowing that he's all-powerful, but that he's spiteful and needlessly vengeful, even evil when he doesn't get his way. The pair leave, commenting, "Good luck fixing your mess," adding, "Yes, you're going to need it." In Universe Zero, where Goku's being held, the action of the Zenos caused a significant drop in concentration for the Grand Priest. This caused the spread of a gigantic fissure within the temporal crystal, which was freezing Universe Zero. And the fissure spread to the crystal, imprisoning the trapped deities. We're then introduced, or maybe reintroduced, it's been so long, to a few gods and angels. The first three to be released from the Grand Priest's hold: the Destroyer Nisos of Universe 17, Destroyer Vulcan of 13, Angel Twist of 18. Not much is known about Nisos and Vulcan other than they're named after a French pale ale and Vulcan 176 vodka. It's possible that the harsh taste of pale ale and the extreme potency of 176 proof vodka could allude to their strength. Twist, who's likely named after a citrus cocktail, is the Angel to Frieza. Back when the story first began, it was revealed that the Galactic Tyrant was actually able to overthrow the original God of Destruction of Universe 18 and take his place. Twist remarks, "That damn Grand Priest sealed us up? Come on! Do you even know how much time he's gained with that cheap shot?" With their mission still at hand, Nisos doesn't want to waste any more time with idle talk. There is still much to do. Vulcan mirrors the statement with a huff. In Universe 6, Thamnos appears before Kale and Caulifla. She murmurs, "This battle was tough for the Saiyans, but one thing is certain. Those who are still alive among you will have a role to play in the battles to come." Ever spicy, and in this case, understandably so, Caulifla replies, "Oh yeah? If you really want us to fight alongside the angels, why didn't you intervene against Amaron?" Closing her eyes, she responds, "For you to have a role to play, it's only natural to let trials shape the best among you." But what's she saying? Every life matters, the embattled Kale retorts. However, if that's what she thinks, the angel then questions, why fight them? What difference does it make if our enemies kill us or if we kill them? While the timid Saiyan falls silent upon this question, the correct answer is because don't start nothing, won't be nothing. Vados continues, "Someone who can't be of use to us cannot be our ally, so consider them an enemy if that comforts you." What she seems to be suggesting is that all the Saiyans who died would have just gotten in their way anyway. Gods are one thing, but do you really think we can do anything against the angels? Caulifla wonders. Which is something Vados doesn't have the answer to. The reality is pretty much nothing. One said angel gazes to the sky and mutters, "To be honest, the ones who worry me most are the Dark Angels." Of course, inquiring what these Dark Angels are, she explains, "Oh, that's true. You've never encountered one. The angels are tasked with always remaining neutral and are forbidden from taking sides out of passion. And when an angel deviates from this rule, a black mark spreads from the roots of their hair, and this darkened angel eventually consumes their own existence. Because they are no longer neutral, that makes them unpredictable and dangerous." Caulifla asks, "If I understand correctly, you and Champa told us the Grand Priest made his own decision that went against the Zenos, right? So in that case, why isn't the Grand Priest entirely black by now? This also possibly further explains why the Zenos took the action they did recently. And it's because the darkening only applies to my brothers, sisters, or me, simply because the Grand Priest and Grand Priestess decided so upon our creation. As for their own origin in this world, I don't know." In other words, the Mother and Father Angels long ago decided, rules for thee, but not for me, when it came to what they could do versus what their children could do. Meanwhile, at the Telfel Hospital, Even after all this time, Chila is still undergoing extensive medical treatment in order to save her life. Broly by her side the entire time. Though he's not the only Saiyan in the room, Vegeta listens in as a doctor states. After a year, the test results are finally rather encouraging, at least in the short term. The prince asking what he means by that last remark. There's still this strange virus. It seems composed of a type of energy. Unfortunately, the science of this planet doesn't know how to deal with such a disease. Looking at this virus, it looks like even in death, Dula is still able to wreak some havoc on our heroes. But unable to restrain himself at such absurdity, Vegeta bellows, that demon infected her with a key virus? Is this a joke? The doctor tries to quiet him down as their patient needs a rest. But if she dies, no one will be able to calm down Broly. When that day comes, they'll have all of eternity to rest peacefully. So save her! Doing what they can, even the advanced science of the Tuffos can only do so much. Stomping away, Vegeta thinks to himself. Kaba, Ruba, Lariak, Chilai. And who will be next? How many have died for a meaningless battle compared to the real threat that's approaching inexorably? How many? Vegeta hasn't taken stock yet, but 87% of the inhabitants of planet Sadala perished under Amaron's assault. Only a handful of people remain able to fight. The other survivors, for the most part, having fled or taken refuge. He has every reason to be worried. The end and heavy toll of this battle mark nothing more than a minuscule step towards the beginning. At the same time, Vulcan has beeline towards one of the Super Dragon Balls. In the Demon Realm, if memory serves, Majin Buu is still here, has a shoe tap down bearing likeness to Twist. Then Nisos makes his appearance. Over planet Sadala. Nothing more than a minuscule step towards the beginning of the true war that awaits them.